Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Zacharias. I'm here with Rocio Belloso for the Daughters of the Milky Way podcast. And we are back from our short little break that we took this summer. And as you can see, there's been some changes with the Daughters of the Milky Way podcast. I am now the sole host for this conversations that will be going forward. We're sending so much love and blessings to Amy, who has decided to pursue different ventures and excitement and creation. So I'm really excited for her for what she's creating. And yes, before we start this, I'm so excited for this
Me
conversation,
too.
like buzzing. So, but before we do that, as always, we're just going to invite you if you're driving, please do not close your eyes. Continue being focused driver. However, if you're not operating a vehicle, just take a moment. If you want to close your eyes, take a deep breath in, exhale out, just allowing for yourself a moment of presence to be here with us today. As I said, I am really excited to be connecting with this episode with my friend Rocio Belloso of Bello Soul to Soul. She is a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner. Did I get it right that time?
Yes. Quantum
Yes.
healing hypnosis technique. You got it.
And it's past life regression. This is a technique that was founded by Dolores Cannon. If you do not know Dolores Cannon, I invite you with like big, big invitation to explore Dolores Cannon's large what's that word? Uh she has a lot of books. She's
Yeah,
written
she has a plethora of books.
plethora, like
Yeah.
humongous. I haven't even
Yes.
read them all, and I
I
love reading.
yeah, yeah.
But she has such a catalog. That's the word I was looking for. She has a
Mm-hmm.
massive catalog of books that she's recorded, and is a beautiful ancestor now. And blessings to you, Dolores Cannon. We love you and thank you so much. And what we've been doing here in the Daughters of the Milky Way podcast, for those who have been tuning in for some time now, is exploring manifesting, being a divine creator, um, really exploring what it is to be alive and to be creating with spirit. And before I actually ask you the question I'm going to ask you, Rocio, would you like to introduce yourself to this
Yes.
lovely audience who's listening?
Well, thank you, Natalie, first for having me. I'm so excited. This is my very first podcast. So I'm very honored to be here with you and everyone who's listening. My name is Rocio Belloso with Bello Soul to Soul. I'm a QHTT practitioner. So happy to be in this journey. I do past life regressions, and ever since I started, it's been one of the biggest joys, and I've met incredible people doing this, and Natalie's one of them. And I'm thankful to being here with you.
Yes. And also, it was Rocio's birthday yesterday. So happy
Thank
birthday!
you. Thank you.
It is August. She's Leo.
I'm a
And we
Leo.
love our Leos.
Thank
So this
you.
feels like very auspicious timing to be able to record this with you. And I'm also really excited to be doing a past life regression session with you soon.
Yes, we're doing that on Lionsgate, a very special date. So I know we're going to tap into your soul, and your soul's going to tell you exactly what you need to know. It's going to be beautiful. I just know it already.
Yeah, yeah, I'm so excited. So Rocio, the question that we've been asking all the guests is what does manifesting mean to you? Or even what does like being a divine creator mean for you?
There's so many definitions for everyone, but for me, it's knowing that I'm the creator of my own reality, that I have the power to decide how things are going to grow and develop around me, and that I can't control what other people do, but I can definitely control what I do and how I react to things. And I just stay focused on where I see my vision going. And in fact, I was sharing this with you earlier, Natalie, that I envision myself doing podcasts very soon. A year ago, I told myself I'm going to be on podcast. I'm going to be doing interviews, and it started happening already. I already got interviewed by a magazine, which That was incredible. And now you invited me to do this podcast, and it's my very first one. So I'm over the moon happy knowing that I'm creating this reality because it's something that I've been manifesting and creating and putting it in writing because I do that a lot. I put stuff in writing, I look at it every day, I repeat it to myself, I create little songs because I love to sing. And that helps me with my manifestation and my and creating my world, my little universe.
Yeah, I love that. I love also that you create songs. That's something that I know there's so many different techniques. Like for those who've maybe this is your first time like exploring manifesting, the what you were sharing about writing things down.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's like robotic what is it called? Robotic recording where you like have a thing that you're creating and you just loop it
Oh,
and
okay.
listen to it. But I love that you make songs. I was actually thinking about it recently. I'm like, oh, because why not? We get songs stuck in our head
All the
all the
time. All the
time.
time. So might as well get a good song stuck so it becomes
Yeah.
your reality. And
Yeah.
I don't know why I love writing songs ever since I was little, like a little songwriter, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other day, you actually commented something and said, "Oh, Rocio, I can't wait to see what song's gonna come through, right?
Yeah.
Through me." I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
Natalie, if you only knew. I'm always singing. I'm always singing it. I just love it. My heart's always happy. It's just something that it's been in me the whole time. And I'm always creating different songs and it's just part of who I am, I guess.
Yeah. I'm so curious because oh my gosh, I love that. I love this is where this conversation is going because I did do a post recently because I feel that everyone has like a soul song, at least like at minimum one song that wants to come through people. And I'm
Yes.
curious, what's your process of receiving? Because there is like the melody and then there's the words that want to come through, which I feel sometimes like one can be easier than the other.
Hmm.
Or sometimes they're both easy, or sometimes they're both a little challenging. So I'm so curious for you what your process, and it probably is different, but what your process is.
Okay, so let me think about this one. When I was 5 years old, okay,
Yeah.
that's when I wrote. No, I didn't even write because I didn't know how to write, but that's when I created my first song. Okay,
No way. That's amazing.
it was based on feelings and what was going on around me, and I just started singing it and singing it, and it was in Spanish, and I'm not gonna sing it right now, right? But because I speak English and Spanish, and it was something that was happening in my life. So as a child, as a 5-year-old child, and I just started singing it, and then next thing you know, my entire family was singing this song. My dad, yes, my dad, my mom, my siblings, and then my dad would come home and tell my mom, "Why was I singing her song? I had her song stuck in my head at work." And it was just funny, but it's something that I have, you know? And
Yeah.
now as I'm doing all this work, there is a specific song that came through about remembering who you are that one day I may record it, so I'm not going to sing it here.
Ah. Oh
Or maybe we'll sing it together when we do karaoke.
my gosh, yes.
Yes, yes. That's a side note, guys. We like to do karaoke.
Yes, we do.
So maybe I'll sing it there, but the melody and the words they just come naturally to me.
Yeah.
They just do. Like I start thinking of like remember who you are, and I get inspired as I'm walking Loki, my dog. He's my soul dog in case nobody really knows, but he's my soul dog.
Yeah.
We go to the park every day. I'm surrounded by nature, the trees, the squirrels, the crows. They love me, okay? And
I
then
bet.
like music just comes and I just start singing and I love singing to the trees and talking to the trees because I feel there's a connection and I'm just
Yes.
waiting and hoping that the trees one day will sing back to me.
Yes. They probably are. We just can't hear it.
I'm hoping one day I'm gonna tune into their frequency and be able to like hear them, you know. But I'm sure it'll happen. That's gonna be part of my manifestation
Yes.
and
Yes.
creating my reality, being able to talk to nature and not just me talking to them, but them talking to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they have the tech, like they have those. I forget what they're called, but those things that they like. It looks like patches that they put on plants. I don't know if you've ever seen them. There's this guy on YouTube. I can't think of his name right now, but he actually did like has these patches that uh it, yeah, it's gonna bother me. I can't remember what it's called, but he put it on an oak tree, and
Okay.
it connects to like a soundboard, and he has headphones on, and then it's like the it's like almost like the electrons,
Yeah.
like how
But
like
you
the
can hear the sound of the trees
hear
back?
the sounds of the trees back. Yes.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
and he touches the tree and you can hear the tree responding to it, and then and he hugs the tree and you hear the tree respond, and then he sits off to the side and just meditates and you hear the tree responding
Oh, that's
as he's
beautiful.
meditating. And I've been in Australia. There's a place, the Crystal Palace, I think is what it's called, which you would love. This place is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. um and they have in their sound healing like dome that they have one of these technologies connected to these plants they have there, and they're just singing.
Wow.
That's like this, it like literally feels like they're singing constantly, and they
That's actually
respond.
one of my dreams, to be able to
Yeah,
hear nature speak back to me.
yeah,
And I know it's going to happen eventually in my
yeah,
lifetime. Not, I don't
yeah,
know when, but it will happen. And I'm putting it
yeah.
out there that it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, for sure it will. And I love what you're sharing too. Well, first off, actually, because there's a few things from what you were sharing that I want to like circle back to,
Sure.
because we do have some Spanish. Well, my family's Spanish speaking, on my mother's side, so I know
Uh-huh.
my mom will be tuning into this podcast, and like I have some family in Colombia who also will be tuning in.
Hola.
Um, so and no pressure, you can say no, but if you want to sing, if you want to share your song that 5-year-old you created, even though it's in Spanish, again, no pressure, you can also, it's totally okay to say no, but I'm just gonna say
I'll
that
share it with you privately.
privately. Great. Okay, amazing. Sorry, y'all.
I'm like, oh no, don't put me on the spot. It's my first podcast, girl.
You told me to be gentle, and I'm
I'm
sorry.
like, be gentle with me, Natalie. Woof! You're putting me
No,
through the ringer.
no, you're good. You're good. That's
You
what I
want me
said.
to go a cappella here? My goodness, I wasn't ready. I do have my microphone there though, because I have my karaoke set here.
Uh, I love that so much. Don't worry, we'll edit this piece out. So don't worry.
Like, woo!
So the one question though I want to ask you from what you were sharing is uh or I guess it's not so much a question, more like an observation, is what you were sharing about being inspired by nature
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
receiving the melody, because I experience it the same way. I feel like there's a stream of melody slash music always happening,
Yes,
and we
yes.
can feel it when we're connecting with nature. And sometimes like for some people maybe connecting with like I feel called, I'm a water sign, so water, I just feel called to water. And so
Hmm.
when I'm around water, I can hear melodies a lot faster than when I'm in a desert.
Right, right, right. No, that makes
You
sense. Yeah.
know?
Wow.
So hear it that way. And I'm so curious because you mentioned the trees. Is there any like even unseen beings that you feel connected to when you're tuning into uh, what wants to be created through you?
Hmm. Unseen beings.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're gonna go there. Let's go.
Go in there.
Let's open the gates here. Well, one time when I was at the park again, walking with Loki, I saw a fairy. I saw
Mm,
a little fairy
yes.
um going like in and out of like the trees, and I
Yeah.
kept looking at it, and I said, I'm not scared. You can talk to me. You can talk to me,
Yeah.
because as a past life regressionist, you
Yes.
also do past life regressions with other practitioners.
Oh,
So
yes.
I already found out that I have a fairy lifetime.
Yes.
I'm a fairy, a
Absolutely.
parallel lifetime, because all lifetimes are happening at the same time. So we just say past life regression so people can understand, but in reality all lifetimes are happening. So my
Yeah.
fairy lifetime is happening right now as we speak, but
Yeah.
it's in a different
Time stream.
timeline and everything, right? So my name as a fairy is Liana. And yeah, it was great because I was having a session and I was the client. And of
Yeah.
course, the practitioner's asking me, so what is your name as a fairy? And
Yeah.
it just came and I just said Liana. And then she says, what color's your hair? Orange. What are you wearing? A pink little dress. I'm like a cute little
Yes.
fairy.
Yes.
Because there's all kinds of fairies. One of
Yes.
our mutual friends, Jessica, asked me, so wait a minute, aren't the fairies scary? And I said, no, there's all kinds of different fairies. Just like there's all kinds of different races within the human race, there's different races of fairies. There's
Yes.
fairies that are water based, that live in the water. There's other fairies in nature. There's different types. And I consider myself one of the cute types.
I could see Leanna, right? That's the
Yes,
name.
I'm a girly girl,
Yeah.
So of course I'm wearing like my sparkly stuff and all this, my little crown, and I have
She
a
like lays on the petals and like takes a
yes.
nectar. Yeah, I
And
could
I'm a
totally see
little
that.
mischievous too, I am. Fairies are mischievous and I
Uh,
can see that in me in this lifetime too a little bit, like because you
yeah.
still have a couple of things from other lifetimes that are manifesting on this one.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, but I saw a fairy. You asked me something of unseen beings. So yes, that's how I got into all this fairy talk. I saw a little fairy when I
Yes.
was walking with my dog and I connected and I said, I'm not scared. You can talk to me. But the fairy was just going in and out of the trees and playing. So I just said, okay, I'll let her be. When she's ready to talk to me, I'll be ready to talk to her. And I just continued walking.
That's awesome. I love it. I mean, this is the Daughters of the Milky Way podcast. We will be going into the unseen. And one of the inspirations, I was like, oh, with Rocio, we can go deep. I like that was my instinct. I'm like, oh, I was like, let's do a podcast because the truth of the matter is like we're multi-dimensional beings.
Yes,
And um uh there has been a movement. I'm saying this a very like neutral, kind way. There has been
yes,
a movement to like shut down our knowing that we are multidimensional beings and that there
yes.
are unseen realms and beings of light and darkness that
Both.
exist
Mm-hmm.
that we're all like all have access to in creation. It's just been relegated to like, oh, that's imagination. Because I'm sure as a child, I mean, you were creating songs at 5 years old. I'm sure as a child you saw these beings as a child. I know I did. I saw aliens.
You saw aliens?
I saw aliens as a child. My mom had recently told me as an adult. I don't remember this. She said
Mhm.
that when I was a child, she had gotten this book about aliens or something, which is like, what the fuck? What does that exist? But she got the book, and I've always loved reading since I was like young, like baby,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just always was in nature too. Um, she had never seen me so terrified of a book before. Like I was just adamant, like absolutely not, like no. And she just couldn't understand, like why? But
Yeah.
she just never believed me when I told her I was seeing these aliens that like some benevolent and some not so benevolent, like not at all benevolent. And like I had experiences as a child like knowing that they were hunting me
Wow.
and had really protective guides. So I didn't like as a child, they were just my friends. I just didn't realize that were
Right.
really like shielded me and protected me from, they I remember it was like while I was sleeping. It was at nighttime. A lot of those experiences would happen and would be like, I don't know if I was like, I had these memories. I don't know if I was dreaming, astral traveling, or actually just awake. But
Hmm.
looking through the what's it called, the shade, like the blinders in my window, and looking out into my backyard and seeing aliens in my backyard. The way my brain as a child understood what I was seeing was that they were playing bumper cars with their
So cute.
spaceships. They had these like pods and they were playing bumper.
How did they look? I'm curious.
It
Because I
looked
know
great.
I know a lot
Like
about ETs. And, how did they look?
they were like grays.
Oh, they are grays. Were they the
Yeah.
little grays or the tall grays?
Little, because it was small pods. Like the pods
Okay.
were like they were small, and in my brain it made like there was three of them, and they looked like they were playing bumper cars. But I remember there was this. I knew there were a guardian standing next to me that was saying like, "Don't let them see you." That was just it. Like you can observe this, just don't let them see you. And that
Okay.
had always been like I would see, and I would know how to like hide. I'm a Scorpio, so like of course I know how to not be seen
Of course.
instinctually, and
Mm-hmm.
so I would just see them and all those experiences. And I think the reason why I'm like really excited to have this conversation with you is because with the past life regression, you have a particular lens into these unseen realms with
Yes.
the work that you're doing and the way that like you've also had to play like be a client in the
Mm-hmm.
practice and being trained. And I feel that it's time for people more and more to talk about, because there's ways to be with these energies. We don't have to be in fear. Like, yes, as a child I was afraid of this, but because I never had anyone to teach me that
Yes.
I'm powerful, that like I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be afraid of these things. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're constantly being told like, oh, it's your imagination, but your body's telling you otherwise, it's very confusing.
I can imagine. Yes.
Know? I like shut off my psychic abilities because it became too much to be able to see these things. Not to mention like my cousins, I don't know why they did this, but they had me watching scary movies at like I was too young to be watching scary movies.
Yeah, yeah.
That also like trained my subconscious into a way of seeing the unseen through the lens of fear. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have Disney movies who are also saying like, oh, this is make believe.
Yeah.
And so it trains the subconscious to be like, oh, this is not real. So then it just became too much. Like it was too much for a nervous system to be able to be with these things that no one's helping hold context with. And yeah, I'm just so curious, like what
I
your
have never seen a star person. I like to call them star person, not aliens, because in reality, we're all family. I see them more like cosmic cousins.
yes, I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I see them like family, like my extended cousins, extended cousins.
You made me put up my water.
Sorry, but
True
I
though.
really, I don't like the word alien because it just makes it sound ugly when they're not. We're just family.
Yeah,
And I personally have not seen one. I would love to, and I'm inviting them to come, but I
yeah.
have been in contact with them through sessions.
Oh
They
yeah,
have come through in my sessions with my clients. I've seen, not seen, I've heard as I'm conducting and guiding the session, little grays. That's what I was asking you because I feel like very knowledgeable now in this subject. Little grays, the taller grays that are called evens. I've also there's been all kinds of different species that have
yeah,
come through my clients,
yeah,
and me directly through a dream. I heard them because that's my clear audience kind of kicked in a couple years ago,
yeah.
and it's kind of you can explain more what clairaudience is for the people, but it kicked in a few years ago when I heard you're a healer one time. It
Yeah,
just came randomly and I was like, wait, what? and
yeah.
and then after that I hear a lot of stuff through my dreams. When I'm dreaming I get a lot of messages, and I've been contacted through my dreams from our star family, our cousins.
Wow. Did they do you know which star family lineage they were?
I have you mean the ones that are connected to me?
Yeah, like the ones who talk to you.
Well, okay, you and I have a mutual friend that we both love and adore, right?
Yes.
Liv.
Yes.
Liv is a dear friend of both of us. You have known her for like 10 years plus, and
Lifetime.
huh?
Lifetimes. Yeah.
Lifetimes, yes. And I met both of you guys recently, but I feel like I know you guys forever. And in fact, yeah, like we actually do, Let's be real. We actually
We
do.
probably were dragon riders together. Like
Oh my
off cam I didn't want to say this when we were talking about. I was like, oh, I'll save this for later. Off camera, for those of you who don't know, we were talking about dragons before, and Rocio was sharing about her remembrance of being a dragon rider, and I
Yeah.
was sharing her about this like experience I had and these dragons that are with me, and she was sharing how she's a dragon rider. I was like, we probably were dragon riders together. That's why your soul is like so familiar to me.
I swear, right? People, when they hear this conversation, they're gonna be like, "What? They're talking about fairies. They're talking about star people. Now they're talking about dragons." But it's true. I honestly think that now, it makes sense that you and I could have been dragon riders together. Because, well, first, let's finish talking about
Yeah.
Liv. So when Liv and I connected, I felt like this magnetic pull towards her right away. And then it became so clear that we know each other from Venus. So we are Venusians.
Yes.
As
Yes.
crazy as that may sound, right? That's another lifetime, another parallel lifetime.
Yes.
I can't even believe I'm saying all this on camera right now.
I'm
But
so happy because listen, the reason why I'm really I'm very grateful and very humbled that first that you're trusting me to be the first podcast interview, and that
yes,
you're willing to go deep in this, because I think it's so important to normalize these conversations, because honestly, like, we're fighting generations of programming that have said that this is
yes,
not real, don't talk about this, that this is not real,
yeah,
that woo woo, or that it's crazy, and like all those different things. And it's enough. Like, enough is
yeah.
enough.
No, I
These are
agree. I
real
agree.
experience.
Yeah.
And we're both very grounded people. We're both like very and also not grounded, but like, I think
Yes.
we're
It's a little bit of
multidimensional.
both, you know?
Okay,
Yes, yes, yes.
we can be grounded, and we can also be like high dimensional, like high consciousness connected with spirit. We
Mm-hmm.
can be, all of that can exist at the same time. We can be
Exactly.
very well educated and also understand that there's other unseen dimensions.
Yes.
Like, there are other things that um for too long have been relegated into the lands of make believe, and we're
Yeah.
at this time in history that more and more people are having conversations about these things in the mainstream media as
Mm-hmm.
like, oh no, this is real. And
Yeah.
like, it's not make
Because this
believe.
is truly all very real to me.
Yes.
Like I'm a Venusian.
Yes, it
And
is.
and we had a session with Liv and she saw us as Venusians together on a ship, both of us, her and
Yes.
I. And it was amazing. And it was just another confirmation, and then one of the ways I first found out about my roots with Venus was through I love Gaia, watching Cosmic Disclosure.
Yeah.
I love Gaia. And Emery Smith was interviewing a guy that went to Venus and he was there and he was talking about the community. I swear, Natalie, I was sobbing. I started crying out of nowhere. And I told myself, why am I crying? And there's this thing about me that when I ask myself why, I get answers.
Yeah.
So then I just started crying when I was listening to this interview because it was such a profound interview about Venus, the community, the colors, how everyone works. And it was just, I was like, why do I feel like I belong there? And then
Yeah.
I said, why? Why? And then I heard it's also one of your homes. And then it hit me. And then a couple of months later, that's when I connected with the Conscious Collective community, which we're part
No
of.
way. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I already knew my Venus connection. And then somehow then I came connected with all of you. Then I
yeah,
connected with Liv.
yeah,
And it dawned on me, I know her from Venus. Because my Claire knowing is super strong, girl. I've had that
yeah,
since I was a little girl. The other ones
yeah.
came a little later, but the
Nice.
Claire knowing so
Yeah,
strong.
yeah,
And I said, I know her from Venus. And
yeah.
then, of course, now we call ourselves Venusian sisters.
V sisters for sure.
The V sister, yeah, because it got too long putting it on every post. I was like, V sister. And with you, I'd be like, Dragon Rider
Dragon
sister.
Rider.
Because another lifetime, I also found out that I'm a dragon rider, and my dog Loki, who is my dog now, was my
Yeah,
dragon in that lifetime. So there's a huge bond that we have, my Loki and I.
yeah,
I love that guy with all of my heart and soul. And I now I understand that it goes beyond the love that and connection that I have with him goes beyond this lifetime, you know? And I'm sure we've had others that I still need to discover, and I'm excited to figure them out. But
yeah,
for sure, I know he was my dragon in that lifetime. He was my green dragon. So I was riding him, and now I get to carry my little baby everywhere we go. And I ask him, Loki, how does it feel to change roles, you know? And he just looks at me like, hmm. So, but it's an adorable thing, and I'm glad we're sharing this because now I do feel like there's something going on between now you and me and that
yeah.
lifetime, you know?
Yeah, totally. And listen, for those who are listening, you're just like, okay, how do we go from talking about manifesting to then talking about the unseen? And it's all connected. Because
Yeah.
listen, I feel like the thing around being a divine creator is being in connection with creation, with all of creation. And there's just something that opens up in one's heart and one's being of realizing like, oh, we're all creating this reality together.
Yes.
So, and it's all being created from the subconscious. And that's why the technique that you practice, past life regression, is so powerful because it's going like connecting with the subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many beautiful modalities that allow for us to connect with the subconscious. And then we get to explore, like how you were saying before, how our lives, like past, like call them past lives, but they're all happening at the same time because
Yeah.
time is
Yes.
illusion. And
Mm-hmm.
well, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, it's a whole other story, but it's just a simple way so people understand what we do, you know? Because if you start
Yeah,
telling people, it's parallel lifetimes, you're going to lose them. So it's
totally.
better just to keep it simple and just say past life regression. And in fact, when I'm doing regressions, sometimes we explore their current lifetime because there are things that they need to understand about their current situation, maybe something that happened in their childhood, you know, that they need more clarity on. Sometimes we go literally to a past lifetime, maybe in the 1800s or well, we say past life because linear time for us, the 1800s is already in the past, you know, but it's happening right now. And there's been other cases where I have had clients go to the future and see
Yeah,
lifetimes in the future, and that is also exciting. And
that's amazing.
seeing people tell me like I've had clients that tell me because you asked them, you know, describe how you look, yourself, your body.
Yeah.
And one client was a little bit like nervous to explain that. He said, well, I'm half human and half not. And I was like, what do you mean half not? He said, I'm an alien. He just said it like that. He said, I'm an alien. I was like, that's awesome. I'm over here jumping in my seat. I'm like, yes. So I was like, okay, tell me more. You know, I'm like all calm, but inside I'm like jumping with joy, like, oh my God, I have a hybrid in front of me. It's like, it's awesome because you get, as you're guiding these sessions, you go on a journey with the clients.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
fascinating, you know, like I've had another client that was a king in the 1800s. So now when
Yeah.
I see this person playing around, I may say, hello, Your Majesty. You know, and it's just fun. And like I've had other clients, many clients with, like I told you, that they're star beings from different species, lineages. And
Yeah.
it's I love it. It's such a unique and powerful experience for the client because they get to hear and understand parts of themselves that they didn't know they needed to resolve. And for me to witness that, it's mind blowing every single time. It's like I'm just in awe of the things that the higher self will say. Because what
Yeah.
we do first is we go through a lifetime, whether it's this lifetime, past lifetime, or future lifetime, whatever it is, right? And it doesn't have to be a human lifetime. Like I said, I've had people that I had a client that was a bee,
That's awesome.
super adorable. She tells me my entire body is buzzing. And I was like, but, and I didn't know what to think. At first, I was like, why is she buzzing? You know? She's like, oh, I'm a bee. I said, oh my God. So she was a little bee at first. And then from there, she went to becoming a giraffe. And then she had a little baby giraffe. She was a mother. And she was feeding her baby the leaves. And then she goes, yeah, I can feel my neck. It's like, it's very long and all this other stuff. I mean, it's hilarious. Some of the things you hear. And then I had somebody else say that they were a dog. Now that was one of my favorites too because of Loki.
course.
So I'm here like, okay, tell me, how does it feel to be a dog? What are you
Yeah,
doing? And so she's enjoying the sunshine, she's enjoying belly rubs, getting food, and I mean, it was just precious, absolutely precious. And I kept thinking, I know my Loki's gonna be a human in the future. And when he has a past lifetime of this lifetime, he's gonna be like, I can see my mommy and I in the park. So because she was doing exactly the same thing, telling me about her humans and how they play with her, they throw the ball and how much joy that brings her. I mean, it was adorable. Okay. And I know other people have had Dolores Cannon, who's the pioneer and legend of QHHT, in her
yeah,
books. I've read all her books, okay, twice over because they're so, so good. I highly recommend everyone reading Dolores's books. Your brain is gonna get twisted into like a pretzel and stuff.
yeah.
But
Best
Dolores,
way. In the
yes,
best
in
way.
the best way, I swear. She had a client that was a rock. And it's so interesting to hear because, see, when we come to Earth, we don't become humans. It's not the first thing that you have to learn how to become elements. You need to know
Uh,
how to be air. There's some people that had lifetimes of being water,
yeah,
a rock, a tree. And then Dolores would ask them, how does it feel to be a rock? And
yeah,
then the client said, it's very slow.
yeah.
Everything is so slow, you know? I was like, that makes perfect sense. I haven't had a rock yet, but I can only imagine the lifetime you're gonna have is gonna be like just looking around. But it's part of it's part of your soul learning and experiencing Earth because you have to get adjusted to the density of Earth. And
Yeah.
so we don't become humans right away. We go through being dogs, bees, giraffes, all kinds of different stuff, mosquitoes, everything. So you can experience it. And then, of course, you get promoted to being a human. And then we start having all these amazing experiences.
I think it's great too because again, like I was saying, this all has to do with manifesting because in the subconscious, like the what is stored there is the material that we're pulling from to like that we're seeing through the lens of the reality we're creating. And
Yes.
something that I find that's like really beautiful with past life regression is that, you know, I'm sure people I'll speak from experience. I would have something trigger me, and my response to the trigger was like big. And I'm being very coded as I say this because it's a relational thing. And I'm aware that the person might be listening. So, excuse me. Yeah. I just got nervous. So,
It's okay. I got you.
and yeah, thank you. And I was aware, like, yes, of course, there's like the stuff that because when we get triggered, it's an this is how I relate to that is that there's a doorway that it's like the wound, like the thing from outside, the
Yeah.
stimulus
Yeah.
is pointing at, and that's what like it's like the wound and that
Hmm.
trigger. And then there's an opportunity to go inward to see like, okay, what wound is
Hmm.
being poked at from
Right.
this external stimulus.
Yes.
And so like look at that. But and then I did. That's something I've been doing. And I realized I'm like, oh, it's so much deeper than just what has happened in this lifetime. And I realized I'm like, oh, this is like there's past life baggage that's
Yeah.
that needs to be cleared. And once I cleared that through the past life regression and went through that lifetime and saw like, oh, this is I was blind in that lifetime. And then
Yeah.
looking at like, oh, this is the dynamic that this is what happened in that lifetime. This
Yeah.
is how that pattern is occurring relationally in this lifetime. Okay, I
Hmm.
need to forgive and like forgive from that lifetime And then the intensity lessened like astronomically. And I had way more spaciousness. It's not to say that I don't get triggered, I do,
Of
but
course, we all do.
like level of like, I mean, it was like at a million, and let's say now it's like at a 10. Like
Okay.
that's a big difference.
No, that's major progress.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, that's what. And then I'm like, all right, this is important. This is it is a good idea if like, I mean, I know some people who've had like physical symptoms, like stuff that are happening physically with them
Yeah.
that like medical, like Western medicine can't resolve.
Hmm.
And then they do a past life regression, like, oh, that's connected to this, like an injury.
Exactly.
So you hear people have like, oh, this injury. Another thing, I had a plantar fasciitis for
Oh,
like it just like kind of like spontaneously, not spontaneous. I know the physical reason why it occurred. Like I
yeah.
actually do understand that. But it was more than just the physical. It was more than just like what was happening physically with my body. It was
Yeah.
an energetic component as well. This was not a past life regression this time, but my
Hmm.
friend who is a massage therapist and also an energy healer, he was working like he offered to do some clearing on me, and it wasn't just because the plantar fasciitis, but he was just doing a session, and he was near my foot, and I had this like image that came to mind of being a slave,
Oh, wow.
having ankle chains on that foot, and like the heaviness of that, and my foot was like mangled in that. It was like really,
Oh,
it was not plantar, it was like beyond plantar fasciitis
yeah.
in that. But it was like, oh, that's why it feels like literally like a knife being stabbed into the bottom of my foot. Which,
Yeah.
yes, fasciitis can feel like that because of the inflammation and all those things. But it just felt like more. And then once, like, I was like, once I was able to see that in getting just a massage, it wasn't like in that sense, but I was able to see that okay, I can release that. And then
Exactly.
over time, then it just became like, okay, like the intensity again came down, and it was just about, okay, build the muscle, deal with inflammation. Like then I could go to like the protocol that one does for like strengthening the bottom of your foot so it doesn't have
Right.
that symptom. And it's just that's I'm like I'm so a supporter of all the different ways that people can um, reprogram their subconscious, whether
Hmm.
it's through the like feels like infinite techniques that occur like when that are out there for if you're wanting to create something, you have a vision that you're holding, and there's just like so many teachers, so many different techniques that you can go to. And also I think it helps to also explore your subconscious through
Absolutely.
modality like past life regression. And
Yeah.
that's
No, you said it best. That's an incredible story, Natalie. Wow.
yeah, I have so many stories with you. I'm like, I am steadily, very slowly, like probably at this point, like what you're sharing about Dolores Cannon and The Rock, probably that's at the speed that I'm doing this. If being quite honest. But there is a book that I'm slowly, very slowly writing, amongst all the other things that I'm doing that we were talking about before. That's
Yeah,
why
right.
it's like at the speed of a rock, which is hilarious.
I'm like, Natalie has it going very slow.
Yeah.
Hey, but as long as you make little movements, and that's all that matters. Because I'm gonna be doing the same thing too. That's another thing that I'm manifesting, writing books. That's gonna be part of the future that I'm working on.
I love that because I feel, and again, like I'm anchoring this conversation back into it. I feel the reason why I am excited, was excited, will continue to be excited about this conversation is because I feel that it is time for us to normalize these conversations around the multidimensionality that is existence. Because listen, if we can remember that we were dragon riders, then
Yes,
why can't we like why is there a limit, like why do we believe there's a limit for anything else?
absolutely. And like I said, I can't believe I'm just sharing all my personal lifetimes here on camera, but it's true. But it's
That's what it's
true. Like,
all about, baby.
I'm like, golly, look at Natalie's doing to me. But it's true. I mean, this is all normal stuff, and people need to know and learn that you can embrace this side of yourself because it's all within us.
Yes.
That's why I
Yeah.
love to say there's a universe inside of you. Let's discover that universe, you know? There's so
Yeah.
many stories your soul wants to tell you, and it's just waiting for you to open up and tell you more about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm a true believer that our soul, since the moment we're born, it gives us clues so we can look into it's like a puzzle, you know, like you're building a little puzzle of yourself, like, ooh, I have this inner knowing, clairaudience, or clairvoyance, you know, all these things. Like when all that started, I didn't know what that meant, all these clairs, you know, like
Yeah.
that's it's a lot of information. But once you start learning all these keywords and you start learning about yourself, every like the picture starts opening up in front of you, and it's beautiful to discover who you are and remember who you are because we all have a special role to
Yeah.
share with the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we do. And for some reason when you were talking, what was coming to mind, which maybe is related to this, is because I know you come from a Spanish speaking family, and I'm
Yes.
so curious because I mean I'm multiracial, so that's beside the point. But I was raised very much by my mother for a large portion of my life because my parents divorced, and so I have like a stronger connection with my Colombian side of my lineage, and I'm aware of like the subconscious programs culturally that exist in that family, and it's
Yeah.
been uh because naturally I'm gonna fight against it. And I don't mean fight like but like
Yeah.
I'm unapologetically who I am. That's how I've been
Yes.
as a child. And they tried really, like, they did put a very good effort in making me conform, but
Wow.
my spirit is way too wild to be
Yeah.
conformed.
Your
And
soul said, enough is enough. I'm coming out.
exactly. That's so funny because that's I'm coming out. This, as you said that, it's like probably what my soul was singing when I came out of the womb.
Maybe, you know, like you're like, enough is enough. We've had so many other lifetimes where we had to keep quiet and not speak our truth, but this is the one lifetime that we're all here for a reason, and it's to speak our truth and
Yeah, and
our
I'm
and share it because people need to hear this stuff. Something that you may say may trigger them and wake something up and say, "Oh my God, I heard this in Natalie's podcast, and now it's opened up a new window of things for me to realize."
yeah, yeah, and I think like, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because what I've experienced in my family, especially, and like Colombia is a Roman Catholic country, like that they do in fact have of religion for that country, and so when I, was already like, okay, as an adult, like claim
Mhm.
like, okay, yes, I'm spiritually awakening in that journey. I'm not conforming to like the structures that were put in place that, tried to break me down, because that's really what it was, trying
Yeah.
to cast the illusion of separation and all those things. And so then I'm at my tia's house, and I have my altar that has Jesus, it has Saraswati, it has Lord Ganesha, there's crystals, there's um what's that word, shells, there's
Mhm.
uh what else, I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's a Shipibo cloth, and so there's plant medicine, there's, it's a vibrant altar because I always travel with an altar with me. And and my tia was like so welcoming, and
Uh-huh.
like yes, and she is, and she's passed, she's an ancestor now, but she was like a devout Catholic practitioner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was traveling with my mom, and so at first she's like, "Oh, you need to like hide this," and I was like, "Mom, I'm not hiding this." I was like, "This is who I am. Why would
Yeah.
I not allow my family to see all of who I am? I'm not
Mhm.
ashamed of this." And then she got to experience her sister being welcoming, and
That's
then and
beautiful.
her brother, who was curious, Theo, I love you. For listening, I love you, Theo. He's just a nosy, he wants to know everyone's business. He knows all the cheese, man. He's a chismoso, like he just knows all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
For those who are English speaking, is like a gossiper. He likes to know
Gossiper,
all.
yeah.
Like, he likes to be in the know. He loves when the tea's being spilled. Um, and so he was like, "What's this? What's?" I was like, don't piss off the beings that are to like be inquisitive, but don't be rude, you know?
Yeah, seriously.
And I'm curious, like, as you've stepped into your I feel like you probably already, because I paused for a second. I'm like, you probably didn't just step into it. You probably are also unapologetically who you are through your life. But I'm curious, like, how that's rippled.
Well, I think that for me, things kind of started when I was 7 years old, you know? That's when I think I came into this lifetime with my awareness a little bit more up than most kids,
Yeah,
knowing certain things, feeling certain things. I would watch movies and feel like I lived in that era, that kind of stuff. And
yeah,
I would like make comments to my family and see their reaction. And sometimes they would say, "Oh," or they would just chuckle or whatever, you know, but no big deal. So I would keep things to myself.
yeah,
But as I got older, that's when I started exploring into more of this stuff. And the way I got into all this, I want to say happened thanks to one of my cousins, actually. We were on driving to a family gathering, and then I told him, I love kids so, so much. Like, I love kids. I have nieces and nephews and I adore them. But
yeah,
despite of loving kids so much, I had no desire of becoming a mom myself.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and I always feel like I have to tell people I love kids, you know, because I don't want
yeah,
them to think that I don't. I'm like, I love
yeah,
them so, so much, but I just had no desire of becoming a mom.
yeah.
And I knew that since I was like 13, 14.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I told my mom, I said, just so you know, I'm not going to have any kids. And she
Yeah.
said, oh, maybe you're going to change your mind. I said, no, I don't think so. Like,
Typical
I
for
already
being a
knew.
mother.
Yeah. She said, maybe you'll change your mind. I said, no, no, I already know. I'm not having kids. And
Yeah,
she said, okay. So then when I'm driving with my cousin, he tells me, I was the one driving, okay? And he says, maybe you died in a past life having a kid. And I swear, Natalie, my jaw dropped because I was like,
yeah,
he's one of my people. He understands me, you know? And then
yes.
serious, that's how you figure out who you can talk to about certain things, you know? And then I said, oh, do you believe in reincarnation? I'm like, and he goes, yeah, of course. I've read a lot of books. And he tells me about Dr. Brian Weiss. He tells me
Wow.
about his book. And have you read Dr. Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters?
I've
Girls,
heard of it, but I haven't. I've seen it on bookshelves. I'm like, oh, interesting.
such an incredible book. That was actually the very first book that I read about reincarnation.
Oh, wow.
He's the one that's responsible for me going into all this stuff, Dr.
Yeah,
Brian Weiss. So then after I read all his books, I wanted more and more and more info, you know? Then
yeah,
I
yeah,
that's how I found Dolores. And
yeah, yeah.
that's how I found Dolores Cannon, then Sarah Bressman Cosme. And I read all their books. I'm telling you, I became, to me, reading their books wasn't learning, it was like remembering. I'm
Yeah,
like, I know this stuff. And
yeah,
a lot of stuff sounded to me like second nature. So
yeah,
I feel like as I started reading all this information, listening to different podcasts, I started becoming who I really am supposed to be.
yeah,
And so I just carry myself in that way. And I've had people and friends ask me when I became a practitioner, because they're like, so do you not care what people think? Or, and I said, no, I don't care what people think. And it's sort of being in that main character energy that we were talking about,
yes,
you know, just
yes,
to loop it all back in. And that's why I did the post about main character energy. Because I had a couple people that asked me, so you don't care what people think? I'm like, no, I
yeah,
don't. If it feels true to me, then I
yeah,
know I'm not doing anything wrong. And
yeah,
I need to explore this and go with it. And that's what I'm doing.
yeah, yeah. No, I love that. And it's so there's like so many things I want to say in response to what you just shared. First, I'll shout out to your cousin. Shout out.
Yes, shout out to him because he's the one that opened the door to an inner knowing that I already had, but I didn't explore it until that book came into my hands, you know? Dr.
Yeah,
Brian Weiss. Oh my goodness. Highly recommend it.
yeah, I have to look into his book. So shout out to your cousin. And then the strongest frequency that one could like even stronger than joy, I just recently was listened to a video about this, is authenticity.
Yes.
Because that's like, and you think about it too. I mean, I've heard people talk, that's the strongest protection too. When you're in your like true authenticity, nothing can touch you
Mm-hmm.
because like that you're being you.
Yes.
And I think that's so like it's so important because again, it was going back to the subconscious, because that fear of, are you worried about what people are going to say about you? But like at the end of your life, it's not really about what other people think about you. Like they don't have
Mm-hmm.
any, there's no stake in the game
Mm-hmm.
for what you're like came here to accomplish. They got
Yeah,
their own stuff to worry about.
exactly.
That's something that actually, like, I've heard that a lot too. Of like, in fact, I got, I was like, am I gonna say this? Yeah, I'm gonna say this.
Say it, girl. You have me saying a bunch of stuff here.
I know. I got you. I'm gonna be uh just as vulnerable as you
I'm
have.
like, oh my goodness, I'm saying it all here.
We're like dogs with our bellies up, like oh.
Yeah, like give me a belly rub right now, please.
But recently, my mom and sister had like back at my mom's house. There's this mechanic. She's a badass woman. Like,
Oh.
sure, her energy. She reminds me of like she has like the toughness of Joan Jett. Like she's just badass. She
Uh-huh.
inherited the mechanic. Her it was her father's shop. She inherited it, and
Yeah.
she's just like, really amazing. Like I props to her. She's just like a really important person in the community. Does like a lot of support and all those things. I've
Yeah.
known her since I was in my 20s. And I've always taken my car there to get fixed. So she follows me on Facebook. She may or may not see this. I have no idea. But she's seen like whatever, because you know on social media you're only going to see whatever the person shares, and you're
Yeah.
going to interpret it in the way that makes sense to you, because again it all comes back to the subconscious and the way that
Mm-hmm.
you see things.
Yes, yes.
I feel like I'm like a poster girl for the subconscious or something. But then
Yeah.
so my sister went to the shop to get like her oil change or whatever, and this woman asked like, "Is your sister okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's fine." She's like, "I worry about her because she's such a pure soul, and I think she's like involved in a cult."
No way. My God.
My sister, I have an older sister. She's a Leo, and she's very protective of those she loves because
Of
we are her.
course.
And
Mm-hmm.
so she was really triggered by this, reflection from this person. But
Yeah.
when she told me, I was cracking up. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I still laugh about it when I think about it. And my sister's like, doesn't she know if there's anyone, you'd be the leader of the cult? Like, you're not going to just be. I was like, yes. I was like, but what does that even mean? Is it because it's outside of the norm of
Ex
thinking that is
yes.
you're in the like in your way of thinking? Then if it's anything outside of that, then oh, it must be a cult. And,
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, like not for nothing, and this is very controversial what I'm about to say, but uh many religions are cults. And all of them are cults. Like
Yeah.
actually, not many.
Yeah.
All of them are cults. Like
Yeah.
controversial, yes, I know. I'm
No,
sure
it's true.
having an experience about it, but that's the truth when you look at like actually what this means. And
Mm-hmm.
especially extremist uh spectrum part of religions,
Mm-hmm.
they're cults. Like
Yeah.
FYI. um if me talking about connecting with nature and the divine mother and creation and manifesting and being having self responsibility and exploring your wounds and
Yeah.
reclaiming your power is triggering for a person to think that, oh, I must be in a cult. Okay, then that's your belief. Like I'm not interested in trying to change your belief. That's not my responsibility to do. What
Yeah.
you were saying before, in fact, about like there's a little universe that exists within you, I
Mm-hmm.
feel that is like 1,000% true. And in fact, the high priest that I've been sitting here with for several months now, he has this, he said like the first time I sat with him and with Liv, he said, you know, this is a little universe, like it's important to be the mastery of the little universe. Once you
Yes.
have mastery of the little universe, you have mastery of the bigger universe. And it's not
Yes.
in the sense of like manipulating. That's not what it's about. But it's like, can you find center when there's chaos?
Mm-hmm.
Can you be aware of what is like happening within you and not see like, oh, this is a thing happening to me, but realizing, oh, there's a part that I'm playing in this experience.
Mm-hmm.
And
And not
maybe,
just playing, but you're also creating because we're
yeah,
co-creators. We're creating our reality and co-creating with others, you know?
yes, yes. And also like, yes, there's a bigger story that's being written by the divine, and also we're a part of the divine actively creating the story. So we're both
Yes.
being created and creating. It's like
Mm-hmm.
mind blowing, but really that's the truth of it. There's
Yeah.
some things that are like written in stone, yes, for sure. There's some like agreements that we've had with other souls to like
Yes.
accomplish things in this lifetime that we're
Mm-hmm.
existing in and in the different lifetimes. And also there's choice points. Like there
Yes.
everything, every choice we make, there's a consequence to every choice. Like that's
Absolutely.
period. There's like um access points, or like oh, I made this choice, so then therefore this is the timeline that I'm in. And there's
Yeah.
also a version of you that made a different choice and has another different timeline.
Yes. And Dolores
Like,
talks about that in her books too,
yeah, she
that there's
does.
multiple timelines happening based on your choices. That was
Yeah,
like mind blown.
yeah,
Yes.
and it makes sense too for like when you're talking about um, um manifesting. It's not just like you're creating something out of nothing. It's
No.
like actually you're aligning with the version of you, that timeline that it already does exist, that
Yes.
is vibrating at that frequency. That's why when you hear things like Joe Dispenza talking about like, no mind, no place, no, like you're getting into that zero point. So then you
Yes.
evoke the emotions within you, allow yourself to literally change the molecular structure of your being, the
Mm-hmm.
molecular structure of your being, to
Yes.
then jump timelines to align to the timeline that is creating that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because of the subconscious. Again, I feel like there's because of the subconscious stories that we have in the programs that prevent us from being able to access these supernatural abilities that we all have. Like before, you were talking about the different clairs, like clairaudience, clair knowing, and I was sharing about my experience as a child. Like I could see, and so I had
Yeah.
to cut that off. But clair knowing always, like that always stayed with me, because I
Yeah.
think there's a sense that I feel like a lot of people have like clair knowing or clair sentience,
Mm-hmm.
um, that just like for some reason I feel like that feels like the safer of the clairs.
Probably, and
That's
because
why,
it feels
yeah,
safe, you feel like I feel very strong with that one. Like I really trust my gut feeling, and I
yeah,
know that I'm making the right decision.
yeah.
But like I think it's good for people to understand the different clairs and how they work because they're gonna understand themselves better.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like where when you were talking about clairaudience, it's literally like because what the clairs are, like we have our six senses, and then there's the clairs. They're clairaudience, clairsentience,
Clair,
clairvoyance.
uh-huh.
I forget the one.
Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, cognizance, which is clear
Oh
knowing.
yeah,
But I like to keep it more in the simple terms because it's easier to understand because otherwise it'll go over people's heads. I know it went over mine when I started hearing all these different speakers talking about it. I'm like, what are they talking about? But once I put it in simple terms like clear knowing, clear feeling,
yeah,
clear seeing is clairvoyance, clear
yeah.
audience, clear hearing. Um, there's also
Clair
clear
smelling.
taste,
Yeah,
clear
clear.
smelling. Uh, there's clear intellect as well.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's different ones, and I'm still working on my clear smelling and clear taste.
I've
But
never had the clair taste, but I had one time I had the clair.
one time, me too, the clear
That
smelling.
tripped me
One
out.
time. What?
Because
Really?
yeah, it tricked me out because I feel like I don't really, and again, this is a subconscious story, but I feel like I don't have a strong sense of smell.
Oh my God, me too.
So I was really like so confused. I was like, wait, what?
Oh
And
my
then
God,
I
me
looked
too.
around, I'm like, where's the smell coming from? And there was nothing in the vicinity that would make sense for the smell. And I realized, oh, I smelled a spirit. And I realized, I'm like, oh, that's what that was.
Me
Like,
too. Oh my God, I'm exactly the same way as you. My sense of smell is not that not that strong. It's embarrassing, but it's not.
I
In a way,
literally
it
have
helps. when there's like bad smells around you, and then like my sister, her clear smelling is so strong, okay? Like super, she's lethal with her clear smells. She'll tell me, "Do you smell gas?" And I'm like, "No, I don't smell anything." I'm like, "Damn, what's wrong with my nose?" Like, you know. But one time I did have the clear smell come through, and it was through my dad, actually. Because my dad passed away back in 2000.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. You know, he's transitioned 26, it's been 26 years. And I know he's one of my biggest supporters on the other side. Like I know he's cheering me on,
Probably
and
5 years old. So yeah.
yes, yes, he's like he's one of my biggest supporters. But not so long ago, okay, Natalie, I was getting ready to step out, and all of a sudden I smelled aftershave. And it
Oh,
was the aftershave that my dad used to
yeah, yeah,
wear. And I was here alone. Oh, well,
yeah.
Loki, but he doesn't count. He doesn't wear aftershave, you know?
Yeah.
There's there's no aftershave in this household. So I'm like, I smelled it. And I was like, it smells like my dad. And I said, Dad, are you here? Like it just happened once, the clear smelling, you know? And like you said, it came through spirit, through my dad's spirit being with me. And it was beautiful. I was like, oh my God, it's getting activated.
See,
We'll
I
see.
don't know the spirit. Like, I don't have a personal connection with the spirit that I smelled, and I still, I'm like still confounded by the experience. But
Wait, what was the smell? I'm
it was,
curious.
I, I want to say jasmine, but it was like almost like jasmine.
Oh.
It's a
Well, that's
really like
nice.
smell. Yeah, no, it smells great. I think part of me was like, what is this smell? I need to find it. It was
Oh,
like
first.
really like it felt like really luxurious, uh,
Oh.
like floral smell, and it was
Maybe it
great.
was from one of your bougie lives in the past life, you know?
No, I never thought of. I never thought that.
Just kidding. I'm
It
just kidding.
just felt like expensive. It just felt
You're like,
expensive.
lavender, jasmine. It smells so delish.
Like this is great. I want to know what the smell
You're like,
is.
give it maybe what when you were in Egypt or something, you know? Who knows?
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I got you.
Um, there was something else I wanted to share too, what you were saying. Let me see if I can catch that stream again.
About the Claires?
No, before that, we were talking about family. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
um, no, I lost the stream. But what I will share though, because this is a new stream that's coming through,
Bring it
that
on.
before when I was telling you about the story around uh when I was being like unapologetically myself as an adult, which
Yes.
like that's an important part, is like as an adult.
Yes.
Because children, I feel like they're given a bit of leeway.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you're supposed to conform. And I was just like, I'm breaking all the systems. And
Mm-hmm.
so um after my tia, who I was my tia Beatriz, after she passed, uh at this point my family understood like, oh, Natalie like is openly talks about spirit and has that connection and understanding of like death. They knew because before I had gone to Colombia for that particular trip, and that was my first time back to Colombia as an adult. I forgot to
Mm-hmm.
name that because I had been there as a child, but this is the first time like as an adult them meeting
Yeah.
me. I had just completed with Liv. Liv was doing a ancestral healing training in Panama,
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
we were in Panama for a week and had a really like powerful, deep experience of supporting the ancestors transitioning. And the
Mm-hmm.
ancestors that I supported was my mother's father and my father's mother. And those are
Okay.
two grandparents I never met as
As
oh,
a
I'm sorry,
child.
incorrect. I had already sorry, that's incorrect. I had helped my mother's mother and my father's father. These
Okay.
grandparents, I just I just remember because it was really intense. So these grandparents, I did know them as a child.
Okay.
And there was a lot of trauma, not with me, but with my parents that they'd experienced through their parents. These
Yeah.
because I remember I'm like, wait, no, this was a really intense ancestral training that we did, and then the vigil that we held from sunset to sunrise. It's like all
Mm-hmm.
night. And so I was like really buzzing because it was, I mean, Rocio, there's like the experiences we had in that one night was just massive. And
Wow.
so, and I'm totally not talking about it in this podcast. That will be in the book. But
That's fine. That's fine.
so I had this like really like monumental experience, and then I go to Colombia, and I'm with my family, and so I'm buzzing from this. And we're going into the Christmas season, so of course, like Jesus, baby Jesus was everywhere, and also Santa Claus. My Thea was like loved Santa Claus and loved Christmas. Like
Mhm.
her home was basically like a Neiman Marcus, like maybe no, maybe like a Christmas store. The Christmas
Yeah.
store in the States,
They're
like
actually fun. I like those Christmas stores.
yeah, if that store like threw up into my Thea's house, like that, like she had, I think I stopped counting the number 30. Like I was in the 30s. I stopped counting how many uh Santa
Santa Claus.
Claus. Yeah,
That's
there was a
funny.
lot more than 30. She had a whole pesebre,
I know what you mean. Pesebre, yeah.
nativity, the
Nativity
nativity,
set.
like a whole village set up. Like is my Thea was she loved Christmas. So
Yeah.
like imagine going into this season and I'm
Mm-hmm.
here like I talk to spirit. And so then when my Thea passed away, her daughter like was asking me like has Natalie like, asking through my mother because my mom was talking to her like has Natalie had any dreams about my mother?
Oh.
Like what are the messages that Natalie has? And so and because I have an understanding of supporting one soul when they're transitioning because of what
Yeah.
Liv has taught me, which what she's learned through her teacher, longtime teacher, Elder Maladoma Samay, of like
Mm-hmm.
making offerings and supporting a soul's transition. I told her like, well, my Thea loves smoking. She'd love her cigarettes. She'd love her tinto, which is the black coffee, and she
Okay.
loved like black coffee, no sugar, no milk, tinto. That's in Colombia what they call it. And she loved Coca Cola. So I told my cousin, make offerings, like so, like make offerings, like mommy, like I love you, it's okay, like you can go and transition. Uh, light the cigarette for her, have the open can of Coca Cola, and the black coffee. Like at minimum, just like those are things that she loved make these offerings to support her spirit, and she was open to it. had they
Mm-hmm.
like had they not seen like um it when I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is really beautiful because they don't believe, they still are like devoted Catholics,
Mm-hmm.
but because they're like at least saw the authenticity of like how unapologetic I'm, like I understand these things,
Yeah.
they're open to it. And I think that like I think that's like the most beautiful thing is if one's open to another perspective, I think that's like how we can be in our differences and
Yeah.
exist harmoniously. Like I'm
Absolutely.
not trying to convert her into my way of thinking. That's not my intention at all.
Not mine either. Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the most like profound thing is like for people to understand that. That's why it's not a cult. I'm not
No.
trying to like like I'm not invested in you believing what I believe. What I believe is true for me, but I want you to explore what's true for you. And I think
It's
like, you know,
everyone has their own divine timeline, when they're
yeah.
ready to wake up and understand. And we just have to respect that. And that's something that I've learned too.
Yeah. And what's really beautiful too in a lot of Latino cultures is that they're also understanding of psychics. So like there
Yes.
is like blend of it. So there's a cousin on another family side who like basically they would like I would be sharing stuff and she would be sharing stuff and they would match. And so then everyone's like, okay, follow this guidance. Because then I had a dream of my Thea. No, no, I'm sorry. My cousin had a dream of her mother, and her mother was like, oh, I'm on a journey. Like I'm on a journey. And I was like, yeah. Then she would tell my cousin would call and she would talk to me and tell me her dream, and I'd give her context. I'm like, oh yes, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, so this is what you do. Like this is how she's going to Jesus. Like she's going back to heaven, and
Yeah.
she's in her journey. And so we like give her space. Like we don't call on them to pull them back. We're like, no, we allow her to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and like give love, like give like spiritual energy, which is love, to support that journey. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's beautiful. I was like, that's a
That's
really, and
amazing.
for like someone who's in grief, that's really like also supportive to understand, like, yes, the person that you love so much is not here physically anymore, but they
Yeah.
haven't left you. They're just in a new form.
Exactly, exactly.
And
Like I
like deep
feel my
inside,
dad all the time and I speak with him all the time and it just feels normal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so it like if we allow ourselves to at least be curious of like I'm like my wish is for like whoever is listening to this, like again, like use your discernment. What feels true for you feels true for you. If there's anything, if like we were talking about riding dragons, you're just like that's too much, and then that's okay. That's too much for you. That doesn't feel true for you. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like I think the one of the purposes of this like whole I don't know why I want to call this an experiment, but this whole experiment that is maybe life or maybe just this podcast. I don't know which experiment I'm
Everything,
referring,
girl, everything.
all of it is to like explore what feels true for you, what doesn't feel true for you. And I feel like the invitation is like, can we be in our differences and still find harmony? Because
Hmm.
I believe that's true. Because I can find harmony with a lot of people that think things differently.
Yeah, same,
Like
same.
complete different like ways of seeing the world. And
And
as
in
long as
reality, we need those people too because they help us keep us grounded on Earth, you know? Because otherwise, we're gonna be going up in space, girl. So we need a few people to keep us grounded. So no, it's good. It's a good combo.
like going up in space might not be the worst thing, but yeah. It helps to it help. We're relational beings. I think
Yeah, yeah.
how it lands for me is that we are relational beings, and we discover a lot about ourselves sometimes through uh um what's that word I'm looking like contrast,
Mm-hmm.
contrast, and also like what's that when it's rubbing friction. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
through like friction and through contrast, we have the opportunity, like before we're talking about triggers, we have the
Yeah.
opportunity to meet different parts of ourselves, which you explore a lot through your work of
Yes.
allowing people to meet versions of themselves and
Mm-hmm.
find resolution if resolution is needed, or
Absolutely.
um extract wisdom that may be needed. And so yes, I feel like we can talk forever and I'm
I
aware
think so too, girl. I think so.
aware we're probably at most people like if you're still hanging on, like bless you. We're
Thank you
probably
for being here with us.
probably at most people's capacity. Um, uh, is there anything else, Rocio, that you would like to share with our audience? And also, we'll ask you this question. I'll ask the next question after.
Just to be true to themselves, not to be scared to say and act the way they feel inside because somebody out there may just need to hear that message from them to
Mhm.
awaken their soul.
Yeah,
And we all have gifts and talents that the world needs. And every single one of us carries those gifts and talents that are unique to you.
yeah,
And you can be the bridge to help other people understand and awaken the planet together.
it's beautiful. Yeah, imagine your cousin never shared that with you.
Yeah, he was that little bridge for me, to put the 3D and the 5D in my life as one, and now I'm going galactic, girl. I say that all the time. I'm going galactic. I'm going galactic. I just love it.
And how can people find you?
I am on Instagram at Bello Soul to Soul. I'm also on TikTok, and I'm building my YouTube channel. So help a girl out.
Your YouTube channel is also going to be Bello Soul to Soul, yeah?
Yeah, Bello Soul to Soul. Everywhere it's Bello Soul to Soul, which is my last name with it's weaving my last name with Bello, two souls connecting and transcending
Yeah,
time,
I love
time and space.
I read it in the article that the LA, what's the
Voyage
article?
LA, Voyage LA.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really beautiful. That's
Yeah,
really beautiful.
yeah. It's just the perfect name, it
Yeah.
connects my last name with what I'm doing. Two beautiful souls connecting and traveling and going through journeys, time and space together and just unlocking the inner guru because we're all gurus inside.
Yeah. Yeah, because that little universe that exists inside of us. Also, for people
Exactly.
who don't speak Spanish, bello just it means beauty.
It means
Just
beautiful,
which
yeah.
which like feels so like when I first saw your last name, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Of course you're Venusian. Like, are you kidding me?
My last name means beautiful, belloso. It means
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's It's a nice thing.
Yeah. I'm like, that's epic. My maternal last name means parrot. And in some languages, actually I'm not gonna tell you what it means, but it means parrot.
Parrot, like the parrot?
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
it's just it's not bellos. I mean, I love parrots, don't get me wrong,
it's
but
cute. It's adorable. Our names are all connected with cosmic messages that we need to decipher. So that's a beautiful thing.
yeah. That's not my name that I have is not that's not the name I was born with, but I'm just saying that my mother's maiden name. That's the word I was looking for, her maiden
Gotcha.
name.
No, that's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know why I went on that tangent of names. Oh, because Belloso.
Belloso,
Um,
yeah. Rocio Belloso. And I do sessions in English and in Spanish, of course.
and in person, if you're in the LA
Yes.
area.
Los
Uh,
Angeles area in person QHHT sessions. And you can find me on social media, connect with me, follow me, DM me if you want a session, and let's explore the universe within you.
and you do virtual sessions as well.
Yes.
Hence I'm in
Yes.
Bali, you're in
Yes.
LA, how we're
Yes.
doing virtual sessions.
Yes.
So if you're
Mm.
not in the LA area and you're like, oh, too bad. And they're like, nope, you can still
No,
work with her.
we can still do a session together. There's no limits.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
me. This
you.
was so much fun.
Me too.
Yeah, I hope that whoever is listening to it, that it illuminates or ignites the fire within you in the best way possible for you to be reminded that you are a divine creator. And
Absolutely. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. You're a doll. And I'm sending you a GIF saying you rock.
oh yes, the GIF
That's an
queen.
inside joke.
Yeah. All right, thank you everyone. Bye.
Bye.